Tonight, we're entering a world most people never truly notice, the hidden secrets of forests. Did you know some rivers in the Amazon run black like tea, not from pollution, but from the chemistry of fallen leaves? Or that trees can communicate underground through vast fungal networks, sharing nutrients and even warning each other of danger? Forests are not silent places. They are living communities, ancient archives, and mysterious worlds still full of undiscovered life. So settle in, let your breath slow down, and allow these sleepy science stories to guide you gently into the calm heart of Earth's most magical ecosystems. Hello, and welcome into the quiet world of dreamy science stories. I'm truly glad you're here tonight. Forests are some of the most astonishing landscapes our planet has ever shaped. They are not simply collections of trees, but vast living communities, breathing, adapting, and quietly transforming the air around us. Some forests are so immense they influence the clouds above them, almost creating their own weather. Some trees have stood for thousands of years, alive long before the first stones of the pyramids were ever placed. And beneath the surface, in the dark softness of soil, hidden fungal pathways allow trees to exchange signals, almost like whispers traveling underground. In the Amazon, life gathers in a density unmatched anywhere else on Earth. In the frozen northern taiga, endless forests stretch across continents, storing carbon on a scale that shapes the planet's climate. And in misty cloud forests high in the mountains, water seems to drift straight from the sky into the leaves themselves. Forests are ancient. They are powerful. And they are filled with mysteries that never stop unfolding. Tonight, we'll wander together through 100 fascinating truths about forests, moving slowly, like footsteps on moss. And if you enjoy these gentle journeys, you're always welcome to like, subscribe, or leave a quiet thought in the comments. It helps others find their way here too, one sleepy soul at a time. But for now, you don't need to do anything at all. Let your shoulders loosen. Let your breathing find its own calm rhythm. Imagine the hush of a forest at dusk, when the light softens and the canopy closes like a peaceful ceiling above. And when you're ready, let's begin. The largest living organism on Earth is a forest fungus. Deep beneath the forest floor of Oregon's Blue Mountains lies something almost unimaginable. Above ground, everything looks ordinary, trunks rising into the air, leaves scattered across the soil, quiet woodland stillness. But below, hidden from sight, stretches the body of a single organism, an enormous fungus weaving through the earth like an underground universe. This species, Armillaria ostu, spreads across nearly 4 square miles. It may have been alive for thousands of years, silently expanding beneath the roots of the forest. The mushrooms we sometimes see are only brief surface echoes. The true body is made of mycelium, microscopic threads forming a living lattice beneath the soil. Scientists consider it the largest living organism on the entire planet, larger than any whale, larger than any tree, larger than any coral reef. And what makes it so breathtaking is not only its size, but its quiet patience. Year after year, it persists unseen, connecting life beneath the forest, reminding us that the greatest wonders are often the ones hidden in darkness. The Amazon rainforest contains nearly 10% of all known species. The Amazon is often called the crown jewel of Earth's ecosystems, and it has earned that name. Across its immense green expanse, stretching through 9 countries, lives an extraordinary portion of the planet's biodiversity. 1 out of every 10 species known to science exists somewhere within the Amazon's living maze. Millions of plants, insects, birds, mammals, and fungi share its layered world. Jaguars move like shadows along the forest floor. Pink river dolphins glide through winding waters. and colonies cultivate underground fungus gardens. Orchids bloom high above, clinging to branches where sunlight filters through leaves. And still, scientists believe countless species remain undiscovered, hidden deep in places no human has ever seen. The Amazon is not simply diverse. It is overflowing with life, stacked from soil to canopy like a breathing tower of creation. To step into it is to enter a living encyclopedia, written in feathers, roots, and rain. The boreal forest stores more carbon than all the world's oil reserves. Far across the northern regions of Earth, through Canada, Russia, and Scandinavia, spreads a forest belt known as the boreal. It may not carry the fame of the Amazon, but its planetary importance is immense. Beneath its endless stretches of spruce, pine, and larch lies one of Earth's greatest carbon storehouses. Much of this carbon is locked not in the trees themselves, but in the cold soils, wetlands, and peat layers where decay happens slowly, almost frozen in time. Scientists estimate the boreal forest holds nearly twice as much carbon as all known global oil reserves combined. It is like a vast climate vault, quietly storing the planet's breath for centuries. But warming temperatures threaten to thaw permafrost and release this buried carbon back into the atmosphere. The boreal forest is more than wilderness. It is one of Earth's great balancing forces, and its stability shapes the future of us all. The Amazon rainforest creates its own rain. Most rainforests depend on storms arriving from distant oceans. But the Amazon does something extraordinary. It doesn't just receive rain, it makes it. Each day, countless trees draw water upward from the soil and release it through tiny pores in their leaves. This invisible mist rises into the air, gathering into clouds that eventually return as rainfall. Scientists call this process evapotranspiration. In the Amazon, it becomes an atmospheric river, a cycle of water that repeats again and again above the forest. One large tree alone can release hundreds of gallons of water in a single day. Without this endless recycling, the rainforest would dry and fade. But with it, the Amazon sustains its own weather, drinking and raining in the same breath. A self-renewing engine of life. Trees communicate through underground fungal networks. Beneath almost every forest lies a hidden web of connection. Fungal threads intertwine with tree roots, forming vast underground networks. Scientists sometimes call it the wood wide web. Through these pathways, trees exchange nutrients, chemical signals, and warnings. A shaded sapling may receive sugars from a stronger neighbor. A tree attacked by insects may send alarm signals, prompting others nearby to strengthen their defenses. Some older trees even seem to act as mother trees, supporting younger seedlings through these unseen connections. It is not speech as humans know it, but it is cooperation, molecule by molecule, carried through darkness. The forest is not silent. It is communicating constantly through chemistry, generosity, and ancient partnership. The oldest living trees began growing before the pyramids. High in the mountains of California and Nevada grow trees that feel almost beyond time. Bristlecone pines, twisted by wind and snow, are the oldest known individual organisms on Earth. Some are nearly 5,000 years old. They were already ancient when the pyramids were first rising in Egypt. They have witnessed civilizations bloom and vanish, while they remained rooted in stone, enduring drought, fire, and ice. Their secret is not speed. It is slowness. They grow so gradually that after thousands of years, many are still modest in height. Their wood is dense, resin-rich, and resistant to decay. To look at a bristlecone pine is to look into deep time itself, a living reminder that trees measure life differently than we do. The Amazon may be nearing a tipping point. For all its vastness, the Amazon is also fragile. Scientists warn it may be approaching a dangerous threshold. As deforestation spreads and climate change dries the atmosphere, parts of the rainforest could shift toward savanna. Fewer trees would mean less rainfall, and the forest's self-sustaining cycle could begin to unravel. Already, some regions now emit more carbon than they absorb, a reversal of the Amazon's ancient role as a carbon sink. If the tipping point is crossed, billions of tons of stored carbon could flood into the atmosphere, and countless species could lose their home. Even the mightiest ecosystems depend on delicate balance. The Congo rainforest stores more carbon than the US emits in a decade. Second only to the Amazon, the Congo rainforest is often overlooked. Yet its importance is immense. Beneath its green canopy and vast peatlands lies one of Earth's greatest carbon vaults. The Congo Basin stores over 80 billion tons of carbon, more than the entire United States emits in 10 years of fossil fuel use. Much of this carbon is buried in soggy peat soils where oxygen cannot easily break it down. But warming temperatures and human disturbance threaten to dry these lands, and unlocking that carbon would be catastrophic. For now, though, the Congo remains a quiet protector, a green fortress holding back the tide of climate change. The tallest trees on Earth rise higher than a football field is long. If you ever stand at the base of a coastal redwood in California and slowly look upward, something strange happens. The tree doesn't seem to end. It just keeps climbing higher and higher until your eyes lose it in the distant canopy. Some of these giants reach more than 370 feet tall, making them the tallest living organisms on Earth. To imagine their height, picture a football field standing upright, balanced on its narrow end. And then imagine the trees stretching even beyond that. Up in their crowns, winds move that cannot even be felt at ground level. And in those high branches, entire miniature ecosystems thrive: ferns, mosses, lichens, even tiny salamanders living far above the forest floor. Redwoods grow in fog-draped groves along the Pacific coast, where the air itself becomes part of their water supply. They drink moisture directly from mist. Yet despite their immense presence, they are surprisingly fragile, surviving only within a narrow band of climate. They are living reminders that nature can reach toward the sky with quiet ambition and breathtaking endurance. Redwoods can live for more than 2,000 years. Redwoods are not only towering in height, they are towering in time. Some individuals have lived for over 2 millennia, standing quietly as human history unfolded below them. Their bark is thick, fibrous, and rich with natural compounds that resist insects and decay. It can even protect them from fire. When wildfires come, the flames often clear away smaller competitors, while the redwoods remain. Their roots, surprisingly shallow, do not dig deep like a mountain's anchor. Instead, they spread outward and intertwine with neighboring trees, forming a living net of shared stability. A redwood grove is not just a gathering of individuals. It is an ancient community. Walking among them feels like entering a cathedral built by time itself, where pillars rise into mist and centuries breathe in silence. Cloud forests drink water straight from the sky. High in mountain ranges where fog rolls endlessly over the treetops, there exists a kind of forest unlike any other: the cloud forest. Here, mist is not occasional. It is constant. Trees have adapted in extraordinary ways, capturing water directly from drifting clouds. Leaves, moss-covered branches, and hanging epiphytes act like delicate combs, pulling moisture from the air. Droplets gather and drip softly down to the forest floor. Even when rain does not fall, these forests still drink from the sky itself. The water they harvest often becomes the beginning of rivers, feeding valleys far below and sustaining countless lives. To walk through a cloud forest is to step inside a living cloud, where every surface glistens, and the air feels like part of the forest's own heartbeat. Some forests glow at night with bioluminescent life. In certain forests after dark, something almost unreal can appear. A faint, ghostly glow, like stars scattered across the forest floor. Tiny mushrooms on fallen logs emit soft green light, shining gently from within. This phenomenon is called bioluminescence, created by chemical reactions inside the fungi. Scientists believe the glow may attract insects, which then carry spores outward, helping the fungi reproduce. In tropical regions, entire patches of undergrowth can shimmer faintly, turning darkness into something luminous. Fireflies add to the effect, flashing among branches like floating sparks. For centuries, people described these forests as enchanted. Today, researchers study the precise chemistry behind the light, trying to understand why some species evolved this quiet brilliance. To the human eye, it feels like magic. A reminder that even after sunset, forests have their own ways of shining. Some forests burn regularly as part of their natural rhythm. Fire may seem like destruction, but in many ecosystems, it is also renewal. In pine forests of North America and eucalyptus groves of Australia, fires sweep through naturally every few years. These flames clear dense underbrush, recycle nutrients back into the soil, and even awaken seeds that cannot open without heat. Some pine cones are sealed with resin, waiting for fire's intense warmth to release their next generation. Afterward, ash-rich ground becomes fertile, and sunlight reaches places once shaded. Animals have adapted too. Some birds follow smoke, hunting insects fleeing the flames. When humans disrupt this natural cycle, through suppression or land changes, fires can become unnaturally large and dangerous. But in their natural balance, forest fires are not always endings. Sometimes they are resets, a way for the ecosystem to breathe and begin again. Fire can trigger seeds to sprout. After a wildfire, the landscape may appear lifeless. Charred soil, blackened trunks, silence. But beneath the ash, something waits. Seeds that have been dormant for years, holding their future tightly closed. Certain trees, like lodgepole pines and Australia's banksia, have seeds protected by tough coatings that only break open under extreme heat. Others respond not to flame, but to smoke. Chemicals in the air become signals. Now is the time. And within weeks, green life returns. Seedlings rise from the dark earth, a carpet of renewal. Fire, then, is not only destruction, it is also a catalyst, clearing space, letting light return, and awakening growth written into the forest's deepest design. Some trees can survive being struck by lightning. When lightning tears through a forest, it can feel like the sky itself is breaking. The crack, the flash, the sudden violence. Trees often take the full force of these strikes. Many split apart or burn, yet some endure. Their survival depends on bark thickness, moisture, and structure. Trees with insulating bark can channel electricity along their outer layers, protecting the living tissue inside. Moisture within the trunk can also conduct the current quickly, sparing the core. And remarkably, some trees heal around their scars. The charred grooves become permanent black ribbons spiraling upward, silent records of storms survived. These trees stand as living testaments that resilience can remain rooted even after nature's most powerful bolt tries to bring them down. In the taiga, trees can crack open in extreme cold. The taiga, Earth's largest forest biome, spreads across Siberia, Canada, and Scandinavia. Winters here plunge into unimaginable cold, sometimes below -60 degrees Fahrenheit. In such extremes, even trees can suffer in strange ways. Sap inside their trunks can freeze so rapidly that it expands faster than the wood can withstand. The result is a sudden rupture, a sound like a gunshot echoing through frozen silence. It can seem as though the tree has exploded. Most taiga trees produce antifreeze-like chemicals to survive. But even these adaptations have limits. The cracking trees of the north remind us how harsh this biome truly is, where survival presses every living thing to its edge. Some forest fires burn underground for years. Not all fires end when flames disappear. In peat-rich soils, fires can smolder beneath the surface long after the forest seems quiet. These are sometimes called zombie fires. They creep slowly through underground carbon layers. For months, sometimes even years. Some may survive winter beneath snow, only to re-emerge in spring. They release enormous amounts of carbon and are notoriously difficult to extinguish. Water rarely reaches deep enough to stop them. Residents may smell smoke in the air, even when no flames are visible. These hidden fires remind us that forests can hold on to both life and destruction far longer than we realize, their stories continuing beneath the surface. Forests can help generate their own lightning. Forests do not only endure lightning. In a way, they can help create it. As trees release water vapor into the atmosphere, they feed the formation of storm clouds above. Within those clouds, ice and water particles collide, building electrical charge. Dense, humid forests like the Amazon are especially powerful storm engines. Each day, they send vast moisture upward. And the result can be frequent lightning, sometimes thousands of strikes in a single night across the basin. The forest becomes part of the sky's electricity, a living force shaping storms from within. Some researchers believe that forests may shape storms in ways we are only beginning to understand. Beyond releasing moisture, trees also emit tiny airborne particles, aerosols, that can influence how clouds gather, grow, and even how lightning is born. In this sense, forests are not merely silent witnesses beneath stormy skies. They are participants, quietly helping to build the very atmosphere above them. Every flash of lightning, every distant roll of thunder, may trace part of its origin back to billions of leaves lifting water upward, hour after hour. The forest becomes stitched into the sky's drama, a living engine breathing weather into existence. Snowflake ash forests that survived the ice ages. It may seem impossible to imagine forests enduring during Earth's great ice ages, when glaciers swallowed vast portions of the northern world. And yet, life persisted. In sheltered pockets, protected valleys, warmer coastal edges, hidden refuges, evergreen groves remained alive while ice pressed down across continents. These rare sanctuaries of green became lifeboats for entire species. When the ice finally retreated, these surviving forests expanded outward once more, repopulating landscapes that had been frozen and empty for thousands of years. Even today, genetic studies reveal echoes of those ancient havens, lineages stretching back tens of thousands of years. They remind us that even in the coldest chapters of Earth's history, life found a way to hold on, quietly keeping its roots in the dark. Ancient forests beneath Antarctic ice. Antarctica, now a world of endless white, was once something entirely different. More than 200 million years ago, before the continent drifted into polar isolation, it rested closer to the equator. Instead of ice, there were forests, tall trees rising under strange prehistoric skies. Today, scientists drilling into Antarctic rock uncover fossilized stumps, roots, and petrified would preserved beneath layers of ice. Some evidence suggests dense polar forests that survived months of darkness each winter, followed by months of unbroken summer light. To imagine trees where glaciers now stand is to glimpse how profoundly Earth reshapes itself over deep time, how even the emptiest places once teemed with green life. Water wave when the Amazon River flowed the other way. The Amazon feels eternal, as if it has always poured eastward into the Atlantic. But the planet has its own slow revolutions. Millions of years ago, the Amazon flowed westward, toward what is now the Pacific Ocean. Then the Andes began to rise, mountains pushing upward like a wall across the continent. Gradually, the river's course was forced to reverse. Floodplains shifted. Nutrients moved in new directions. Entire ecosystems transformed. That reversal helped create the Amazon rainforest we know today, one of the richest living worlds on Earth. It is a reminder that even the mightiest rivers are not fixed, they bend to the deeper rhythms of geology and time. Rain-clad hash forests so dense the rain never touches the ground. In some rainforests, the canopy above is so thick, so layered, that rain rarely reaches the soil below. Stormwater is captured high in the treetops, held in leaves and branches like a suspended ocean. Epiphytes, plants that grow on trees instead of in the ground, thrive here, drinking directly from mist and intercepted rainfall. For animals, this upper world becomes its own ecosystem, complete with pools, tiny streams, and hidden habitats floating far above the forest floor. Scientists who climb into these heights often describe it as entering another continent, a secret landscape hovering in the air. Down below, the ground may remain strangely dry, even while thunder rages overhead. Rainforests that create their own storms. Sometimes the thunder above a rainforest is not carried in from elsewhere. The forest itself summons it. Through evapotranspiration, trees release vast amounts of water vapor into the sky. The rising moisture thickens into clouds, heavy and unstable beneath afternoon heat. Soon, the atmosphere breaks open into storms, lightning, rain, booming skies. The cycle is immense. Rain feeds the trees feed the clouds return the rain. The Amazon alone lifts billions of tons of water into the atmosphere each year, sustaining a weather system born from the forest's own breath. Blowing wind face hash forests that shape their own winds. Wind is often thought of as something global, driven by oceans and planetary currents. But forests can generate their own. As sunlight warms the canopy, warm air rises above it, pulling cooler air inward from surrounding regions. This creates gentle, steady breezes that circulate through the trees. In vast rainforests, these patterns can influence regional weather, subtly shaping climate beyond the forest's borders. A forest does not simply sit beneath the atmosphere. It sculpts it. Stand in a clearing, and you may feel it, a soft breath not born from sea or mountain, but from living leaves all around you. Droplet invisible rivers of water vapor. Forests do not only exchange oxygen and carbon dioxide. They also release water. A single large tropical tree can send hundreds of gallons of vapor into the air each day. Multiply that by billions, and the result is an invisible river flowing above the canopy. In the Amazon, these airborne streams stretch for thousands of miles, carrying moisture across continents and feeding distant rainfall. Scientists sometimes call the rainforest a planetary humidifier, a vast living machine pumping water into the sky. The trees are rooted in soil, yet they reach upward into the atmosphere, blurring the boundary between earth and air. Cloud hash aerosols that seed clouds across the world. Along with water vapor, forests emit microscopic particles, aerosols, born from plant chemistry, soil life, and drifting microorganisms. In the sky, these particles become cloud seeds, giving water droplets something to gather around. Some clouds formed this way may travel thousands of miles before releasing their rain. In this sense, forests extend beyond their borders. Their breath can water lands far away, linking continents through invisible threads of air. Drop by drop, cloud by cloud, the forest participates in the planet's global cycle. Evergreen, the scent of pine and the chemistry of climate. That crisp, refreshing smell of pine is more than a simple pleasure. It is chemistry. Pine trees release organic compounds called terpenes, which give forests their sharp fragrance. But once these molecules drift into the air, they react with sunlight and other atmospheric chemicals. The result can be tiny particles that influence cloud formation and even help reflect sunlight, slightly cooling the climate. So the familiar scent of a pine forest is connected to forces far above the treetops. To breathe it in is to take part in a cycle that stretches from the soil, to the sky, to the balance of Earth itself. Forests can cool entire regions like living air conditioners. Step beneath the canopy of a forest on a blazing summer afternoon, and the change feels almost immediate. The air softens. Heat loosens its grip. The world becomes quieter, cooler, more breathable. Shade is only the beginning. Forests chill the atmosphere through deeper, more invisible processes. Through transpiration, trees release water vapor from their leaves, a gentle exhale that absorbs heat as it evaporates. It is nature's version of air conditioning, operating leaf by leaf, hour by hour. This cooling can lower local temperatures by several degrees, forming microclimates where plants survive, animals find refuge, and humans feel relief. On a vast scale, forests like the Amazon do not merely cool a patch of land, they cool entire regions, shaping rainfall, stabilizing weather, and easing the intensity of heat. In a warming world, this is no longer just comfort. It is survival. Forests are natural thermostats, quiet green machines helping to soothe the planet's fever with every rustling breath of leaves. Forests help keep the poles frozen. It may seem strange at first to connect tropical rainforests with the frozen silence of the Arctic and Antarctic. But Earth is not divided into separate worlds. It is one web. The moisture and heat released from forests influence atmospheric circulation patterns that stretch across hemispheres, helping regulate how warmth moves through the planet's system. Forests also store immense amounts of carbon, keeping greenhouse gases out of the sky. Without that service, polar regions would warm far faster, and ice would vanish at an accelerating pace. Even boreal forests near the Arctic play a direct role, shading snow, insulating permafrost, slowing the melt beneath them. The fate of forests and the fate of ice are intertwined. What happens in the green belts of Earth ripples outward, all the way to the frozen edges. Pull one strand, and even the poles can shiver. Forests shape the winds of the world. Forests do not simply stand beneath the atmosphere like passengers under a moving sky. They help steer it. As trees pump water vapor upward, they create subtle pressure differences that can drive winds across enormous distances. This phenomenon, sometimes called the biotic pump, may help pull moist ocean air deep into continents. Without forests, some interior regions might dry into deserts, starved of rainfall. Scientists suggest that forests influence not only local breezes, but global circulation, altering storm tracks, shifting jet streams, guiding the pathways of weather. In this way, the swaying of leaves in one place can echo thousands of miles away. Forests are not background scenery in Earth's climate. They are pilots, quietly guiding the flow of air across the planet. Trees release chemicals that can affect human mood. If you have ever felt calmer walking among pines, It may not be imagination. Trees release airborne compounds known as phytoncides, natural chemicals that help protect them from insects, fungi, and disease. When humans breathe these in, studies suggest measurable effects: lower stress hormones, reduced blood pressure, strengthened immune responses. This is one reason forest bathing, a practice that began in Japan, has become a recognized form of therapy. The scent of cedar, pine, or cypress is not just pleasant. It changes the body. Forest air is not only oxygen-rich, it carries subtle medicine. Trees defending themselves end up soothing us. A reminder that human biology is still deeply intertwined with the landscapes we evolved within. Forests are not just places we visit. They are quiet partners in our well-being. Forest sounds can lower stress hormones. Close your eyes in a forest, and sound becomes everything. Wind brushing through leaves. Birds calling from hidden branches. Insects humming softly. Water dripping somewhere in the shade. Research shows that these natural soundscapes can reduce cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone. Unlike the sharp unpredictability of traffic or machinery, forest sounds are rhythmic and layered, which the brain interprets as safe. Heart rate slows. Breathing deepens. The nervous system begins to settle. Some hospitals even play forest recordings to aid recovery, and urban planners study how natural soundscapes might calm city life. But nothing compares to the real chorus, the immersive, living symphony of the woods. Listening feels like resetting the mind. Not silence, but the voices of trees. Forests can tint the atmosphere blue. On certain hazy afternoons, you may notice a bluish glow along the horizon when looking over vast forests. That color is real. Forests, especially pine-rich ones, release organic compounds that scatter sunlight in specific ways. The effect shifts the atmosphere's hue, painting distant ridges in faint blue. This is so pronounced in the Appalachian Mountains that they are famously called the Blue Ridge. What you are seeing is not just distance. It is the breadth of trees shaping light itself. Forests do not only fill landscapes with green. They tint the air around them, altering how we perceive the world. Every misty horizon becomes part chemistry, part forest, part sky. The night forest sky can glow beyond human sight. Step into a forest at night, and darkness may feel complete. Yet above the canopy, the sky is never truly empty. Earth's atmosphere naturally emits faint energy known as airglow, a subtle radiation produced by chemical reactions high overhead. Forest regions, with less light pollution, make this hidden glow more detectable with sensitive instruments. To certain nocturnal creatures, these emissions may even be visible, guiding navigation in ways humans cannot sense. So even in the deepest night, the forest is not under a blank sky. It rests beneath a quiet shimmer beyond our perception. Darkness is never absolute. There is always hidden light flowing overhead. Forest air is full of microscopic particles. Every breath you take in a forest contains more than oxygen. The air is alive with microscopic particles, droplets of vapor, fragments of organic compounds, spores, pollen, invisible aerosols released from leaves and soil. These particles drift upward to shape clouds, downward to nourish earth, outward to seed rain. Some even act as the starting points around which raindrops form, meaning forests help decide when and where rain will fall. To inhale forest air is to join a cycle of chemistry and biology far larger than the trees alone. It is not just breathing fresh air. It is breathing the forest's invisible presence. A teaspoon of forest soil holds billions of lives. Beneath fallen leaves and moss lies a universe we rarely consider. Scoop up a teaspoon of forest soil, and you are holding billions of organisms. Bacteria, fungi, protozoa, tiny nematodes, entire worlds thriving in darkness. Many are still unknown to science. Their roles remain mysterious. Yet together, they form the foundation of the forest's health, recycling nutrients, feeding roots, defending trees from disease. Without them, the towering canopy above would collapse. In many ways, a forest's greatest diversity is not in birds overhead, but in the invisible galaxy beneath our feet. Each step is taken across a universe too small to see, yet essential for everything we do see. The forest floor breathes carbon in daily heartbeats. Forests do not only breathe across seasons, they breathe across hours. At night, when photosynthesis pauses, roots and soil release carbon dioxide, allowing it to build near the forest floor. By day, sunlight powers the trees to draw that carbon back in, lowering its concentration again. This inhale and exhale happens so reliably that scientists can measure time of day in a forest simply by tracking carbon levels. The ecosystem keeps a rhythm tied to the sun, a kind of planetary heartbeat, quietly pulsing through leaves, soil, and air. The forest breathes in daily pulses. Each day in a forest is marked by subtle pulses of breath. Carbon rises at night. It falls again in morning light. The air shifts so gently that no human ear could ever hear it, yet the entire ecosystem is moving in rhythm. These daily cycles remind us that forests are not static scenery. They are living systems, always inhaling, always exhaling, always responding to sun and shadow. The soil breathes. Leaves breathe. Roots whisper gases back into the air. And beneath every rustle of branches, beneath every call of a bird or flicker of sunlight, there is a soundless rhythm holding everything together, the quiet heartbeat of a world alive. Insects may outnumber leaves. A forest seems made of leaves. Green upon green, canopy upon canopy, an endless architecture of foliage. Yet in many tropical forests, insects may outnumber even the leaves themselves. Ants march in living rivers. Termites build towers of earth. Beetles shimmer across bark like moving jewels. Scientists estimate that a single hectare of rainforest can host tens of thousands of insect species, with countless individuals hidden in every layer, crawling, flying, tunneling, feeding. Many have never been named. Their abundance is not just background motion. Insects pollinate plants, recycle nutrients, aerate soil, and become food for birds, frogs, reptiles, and mammals. Without insects, the forest would unravel. They are the unseen undercurrent of life, a buzzing, crawling tide of motion holding the ecosystem together more deeply than we often realize. Some forest plants trap and eat insects. Forests are not only filled with insects. They also contain plants that hunt them. Carnivorous species like pitcher plants and sundews lure insects with sweetness, scent, color, sticky droplets that sparkle like dew. Once the insect lands, escape becomes impossible. Enzymes dissolve the prey, and the plant absorbs nutrients that the poor forest soil cannot provide. In some tropical regions, pitcher plants grow so large that they may trap not only flies, but frogs, even small mammals that wander too close. These strange strategies reveal evolution's creativity. In the dim understory where sunlight is scarce and nutrients are limited, life adapts in unexpected ways. To see a plant feeding on an insect is to glimpse the forest's quiet drama, hunter and hunted, leaf and wing, survival unfolding in silence. Forests harbor viruses we have never discovered. Deep within forest soils, hidden in pools of water, drifting through insects, resting inside animals, viruses exist in numbers beyond imagination. Most remain unknown. Some may regulate microbial populations, shaping ecosystems in ways we barely understand. Others could hold genetic tools that inspire future medicines, technologies, or scientific breakthroughs. Forests are reservoirs of diversity not only in trees and animals, but in invisible worlds. While some viruses can cause disease, many exist quietly, interacting with hosts without harm, woven into the balance of life. Studying them is difficult. They are dormant, hidden, microscopic. Yet the truth remains. Beneath every root and leaf, unseen forces are at work, a vast biological archive still waiting to be understood. The rainforest canopy can be nearly impenetrable. Stand inside a tropical rainforest and look upward. Light is filtered into fragments. The canopy, that interwoven ceiling of branches and leaves, can be so dense that less than 1% of sunlight reaches the ground. In some places, overlapping foliage forms a living roof so thick that rain is caught above, slowed, held, intercepted before it ever falls. Scientists sometimes compare its density to concrete, not because it is hard, but because it is almost impossible to pass through. This green ceiling shields the understory below, keeping it cooler, wetter, more humid than the world above. For countless creatures, the canopy is not a layer. It is the forest itself. Forest canopies hold entire miniature worlds. High above the ground, another planet exists. Mosses carpet branches. Orchids bloom in midair. Bromeliads collect rainwater in their cupped leaves, forming tiny pools. These pools become homes for frogs, insects, larvae, entire ecosystems suspended in the sky. And colonies tunnel through bark. Birds flash between leaves. Monkeys leap across gaps like acrobats in a city of green. Scientists who climb into these aerial realms often describe it as stepping into a hidden continent, unexplored for centuries. The canopy doubles the forest's living space, stacking habitats above habitats, worlds above worlds. Forests are not flat. They are vertical universes rising into the air. More species live in the canopy than on the ground. It may seem natural to assume life is concentrated at the forest floor. But in rainforests, the opposite can be true. The canopy teems with species, insects, reptiles, birds, mammals, all finding food, shelter, and sunlight in the treetops. Many plants grow only here, clinging to branches, never touching soil. Scientists believe that more than half of all rainforest species may live exclusively in the canopy. Each square meter of treetop can contain more life than an entire meadow elsewhere. Some researchers even call the canopy the real rainforest. A boundless city in the sky, crowded with movement and color, while the ground below becomes only one distant layer. The forest floor rarely sees sunlight. Beneath the towering ceiling of leaves, the forest floor lies in near-constant shadow. In dense rainforests, only a thin trickle of sunlight makes it down, often less than 1%. This dimness shapes everything. Plants spread wide leaves to capture faint light. Fungi and decomposers thrive in cool humidity, recycling fallen wooden leaves into soil. Animals rely more on smell, sound, vibration, because sight alone is not enough in the darkness. The forest floor may feel still, but it is alive with hidden motion. A shadowed stage where survival means learning to live without sun. Some trees may never feel direct sunlight. In crowded forests, sunlight is everything. Saplings grow slowly in deep shade, sometimes waiting decades, even centuries, without ever being touched by direct sun. They survive on scattered fragments of filtered light, enduring patiently beneath giants. Then one day, an old tree falls. A gap opens. Sunlight floods the ground like a sudden blessing, and the waiting sapling surges upward, seizing its one chance. This is the forest's quiet contest. Not loud struggle, but patient persistence. Even a fallen tree becomes not only an ending, but an opening. Some forests are so dark they feel like night at noon. In certain rainforests, the canopy is so thick that midday resembles twilight. Travelers describe these places as hushed and otherworldly, where shadows stretch endlessly and the world becomes shades of green and gray. In this perpetual gloom, life adapts. Some insects glow faintly. Animals rely on sound more than sight. Humidity remains high. Decomposition moves quickly. What feels mysterious to humans is simply normal to the creatures of the deep forest. Here, noon and midnight can look nearly the same. Time itself seems slower beneath leaves that never fully let the sun in. Forests hide ancient human worlds. Forests do not only conceal nature, they also conceal history. In the Amazon, LiDAR scanning has revealed vast ancient cities hidden beneath the trees, networks of roads, canals, pyramids swallowed by green over centuries. In Cambodia, Angkor's ruins were long embraced by jungle before rediscovery. Dense forests can hide temples, villages, trade routes, entire civilizations for millennia. Stone disappears beneath roots. Walls become moss. Human memory fades, but the forest remains, growing quietly over what came before. Forests are not just living ecosystems. They are archives. Places where nature and history intertwine, where the past still sleeps beneath the leaves. Forests blur the line between nature and history. Trees climb patiently over forgotten walls. Roots wind through ancient stairways like slow rivers of wood. Moss settles onto carvings until stone and bark seem indistinguishable, as if the forest has gently reclaimed what humans once built. For archaeologists, forests are both protectors and puzzles. They preserve ruins beneath shade and soil. Yet they also hide them, wrapping history in silence. Each rediscovered temple or buried city reminds us that human civilization is never truly separate from the wild. Forests are not empty spaces. They are layered landscapes filled with living green, and with echoes of lives that once moved beneath the same canopy. Tree hollows can hold entire ecosystems. A hollow in an old tree might appear like a simple opening, but to countless creatures, it is an entire world. Rainwater gathers inside, forming tiny ponds suspended in wood. Insects breed there. Frogs shelter in the damp. Sometimes even small crabs or reptiles find refuge in these hidden basins. Birds nest within the sheltered cavities. Bats and squirrels roost safely away from predators. And deep in the softened wood, microbes work endlessly, recycling nutrients back into the forest's bloodstream. In tropical regions, tree hollows can be so common that whole communities of species depend on them. Each cavity becomes a miniature ecosystem, balanced and alive. They remind us that forests function at every scale, from miles of canopy to worlds small enough to fit in the palm of your hand. Bamboo forests can rise like skyscrapers in weeks. Bamboo may look like a tree, but it is, astonishingly, a grass. And in the forests where bamboo dominates, it grows with a speed that feels almost unreal. Certain species can stretch upward nearly a meter in a single day. Within weeks, tender shoots become towering stalks, forming dense green groves that resemble living skyscrapers. These forests shelter red pandas, golden monkeys, and the giant panda, whose life is shaped almost entirely around bamboo. Humans rely on it too, for construction, food, tools, textiles. Its rapid growth makes it one of the most renewable resources on Earth. Walking through bamboo feels different from walking through any other forest. The stalks rise straight and close, creaking softly in the wind like a natural instrument. It is life moving fast, a reminder of nature's ability to surge upward when conditions are just right. Some rainforest trees bloom directly from their trunks. In most forests, flowers appear on branches, reaching outward into the light. But in rainforests, many trees follow a stranger path. Through a strategy called cauliflory, blossoms and fruits emerge directly from the trunk itself. This brings flowers closer to animals that pollinate them: bats, monkeys, rodents, creatures that may never reach the highest branches. One of the most famous examples is the cacao tree, the source of chocolate. Its trunk becomes decorated with clusters of blossoms and heavy fruits, hanging like ornaments from a living pillar. It is an adaptation shaped perfectly for the crowded vertical world of the rainforest. A reminder that plants are endlessly inventive, and that in these forests, even trunks can become gardens. The Amazon's trees release immense amounts of oxygen. The Amazon is often called the lungs of the earth. The phrase is simplified, but it points towards something real. Every day, billions of leaves across the Amazon canopy perform photosynthesis, drawing in carbon dioxide, capturing sunlight, releasing oxygen as a quiet byproduct. The scale is staggering. Rainforest trees, some rising hundreds of feet, release more oxygen than all the world's grasslands combined. Much of that oxygen is also used again within the forest itself, by animals, microbes, and even the trees at night. Yet the Amazon's contribution remains immense. It is a reminder that our atmosphere is not separate from forests. Each breath we take is tied to the unseen daily labor of leaves. Inhaling carbon, exhaling life. Forests sustain Earth's oxygen exchange. We often hear that oceans are the planet's great oxygen makers, and they are. But forests are equally essential in the global exchange of breath. Through photosynthesis, forests absorb vast amounts of carbon dioxide and release oxygen into the air. At the same time, the countless organisms living within them consume oxygen and return carbon back. A continuous cycle, balanced like a living tide. Forests run this process on an enormous scale, layer upon layer of leaves working in sunlight. They stabilize the rhythm of Earth's atmosphere. Without forests, the balance would weaken, with consequences for every breathing creature. Each inhale we draw is supported not only by plankton and sea, but by endless green canopies turning sunlight into air. Some trees store water like living reservoirs. In some landscapes, survival depends on enduring long dry seasons. Certain trees have adapted in an extraordinary way, by storing water directly inside their trunks. These natural reservoirs can hold thousands of liters, enough to sustain the tree through months of drought. The baobab is one of the most famous examples, its swollen trunk acting like a living well. In tropical forests, other species also keep hidden reserves within spongy wood. This ability supports entire ecosystems, allowing life to persist even when rain disappears. To touch such a tree is to touch stored patience, a guardian of water, quietly holding moisture inside its fibers. Forests store more fresh water than all the world's lakes. When we imagine fresh water, we think of lakes, rivers, glacier. But forests hold more than all of them combined. Much of it is hidden underground, stored in soils, wetlands, aquifers that forests help replenish. Roots draw moisture upward. Canopies slow rainfall, allowing water to seep gently into the earth instead of rushing away. In peatlands, water remains locked for centuries in saturated moss and soil. These hidden stores form a reservoir larger than all the world's lakes together. Forests are not only wildlife habitats. They are essential pillars of the global water cycle. Quiet freshwater banks sustaining billions of lives downstream. Forests shape the chemistry of the oceans. Forests and oceans may seem like separate worlds, but they are deeply connected. Rivers carry nutrients washed from forest soils into the sea. These nutrients feed plankton blooms, the foundation of marine food chains. Forests also influence how much carbon dioxide enters the atmosphere, shaping how much dissolves into seawater. Even aerosols released by trees can drift over oceans, affecting cloud cover, rainfall, and salinity patterns. In this way, forests help set the stage for ocean chemistry, balancing carbon, nutrients, and life itself. The health of the sea begins, in part, in the shade of distant trees. Trees can change the chemistry of rain. Rain falling through a forest is not the same rain that falls in an open field. As droplets pass through leaves and branches, they gather substances released by trees. Organic acids, sugars, minerals, antimicrobial compounds. By the time the water reaches the ground, its chemistry has been transformed. Scientists call this process throughfall. Each forest creates its own signature rainfall, a kind of flavored water carrying nutrients that fertilize seedlings, or compounds that shape which plants can grow nearby. Trees do not simply receive rain. They change it. Each shower becomes part of the forest's quiet conversation with itself. Weather woven into biology, sky becoming soil, drop by drop. Some forest rivers turn black from leaf chemistry. In certain tropical forests, rivers do not shine blue or green. They flow dark, almost like tea steeped in shadow. In parts of the Amazon and other rainforest regions, waterways can appear brown or nearly black, reflecting the canopy like polished glass. This darkness is not pollution. It is the forest itself, dissolved into water. Fallen leaves, bark, and decaying plant matter release natural chemicals called tannins. As rainwater seeps through rich soils thick with decomposition, it absorbs these compounds, staining the river as it moves. These blackwater rivers are often low in nutrients, yet remarkably clear. Their chemistry creates ecosystems unlike those in nearby sediment-filled whitewater rivers. Fish, insects, and aquatic plants evolved to survive in these darker, more acidic conditions. The contrast forms a mosaic of habitats, each with its own invisible web of life. To drift along a blackwater river feels eerie and peaceful, as though the forest has painted the current with the memory of leaves long fallen. Forest leaves can carry traces of distant ocean spray. It seems impossible that the sea could touch a forest deep inland. And yet, in microscopic ways, it does. Tiny salt particles lifted from crashing ocean waves can rise into the atmosphere and travel astonishing distances. Hundreds, even thousands of miles. Eventually, they settle softly onto forest leaves, becoming part of the chemistry that trees absorb. Scientists studying leaf surfaces have discovered traces of ocean salt far from any coastline. These particles may subtly influence how leaves interact with water, sunlight, and even the air around them. They can spark chemical reactions in the atmosphere above the canopy. The connection is faint but profound. Forests breathe not only local air, but also distant whispers from the sea. Each leaf may carry, in invisible grains, a reminder of waves breaking on faraway shores. Leaves can change color without autumn. In temperate forests, we associate changing leaves with autumn, a predictable seasonal flame before winter. But tropical forests do not wait for fall. Their colors shift whenever life demands it. Young leaves often emerge bright red or orange, flushed like sunrise. This is not decoration. It is protection, a natural sunscreen shielding tender tissues from harsh sunlight until the leaf matures. Other species shift color as signals, perhaps to attract pollinators, or to confuse insects searching for fresh greenery. Sometimes entire stretches of canopy suddenly blaze with reds, purples, or golds, even though no season has turned. This constant turnover is part of why tropical forests appear so endlessly vibrant. The palette is not tied to winter's approach, but to survival strategies woven into the leaves themselves. The forest is always changing, not because the year demands it, but because life does. Forests shape the migration of birds across the planet. For countless bird species, forests are not only homes, they are lifelines. Migratory birds travel unimaginable distances across continents, oceans, deserts. And along the way, forests become crucial resting places. Stopovers where wings can recover, where fruit and insects provide fuel for journeys that span hemispheres. Some forests bloom or fruit at precisely the right moment, feeding travelers at the edge of exhaustion. Others offer shelter from storms, predators, and the open sky. Even birds that do not live in forests year-round depend on them during these critical stages. The very patterns of global migration are shaped by forest availability. When forests vanish, entire migratory routes can collapse. So the chorus of birds in spring is not only local music. It is the sound of travelers whose survival depends on forests far beyond our horizon. Forest elephants engineer the structure of African rainforests. In the Congo Basin, forest elephants move like living forces of ecology. Their role is far greater than their size alone suggests. As they push through dense undergrowth, they open pathways, allowing light to spill onto the forest floor. They feed on fruits and carry seeds across vast distances, depositing them in rich fertilizer far from the parent tree. Some seeds will only sprout after passing through an elephant's digestive system. In this way, elephants become gardeners of the rainforest. Over decades, they shape which trees dominate, how dense the canopy becomes, and how the forest breathes and grows. Without them, some regions would choke with vegetation, while others might lose entire tree species. Forest elephants are not merely residents. They are engineers, sculpting the architecture of the ecosystem with every step. Proof that animals and trees are inseparable partners in building the forest. Bats and birds help forests regrow and expand. Forests do not grow alone. They rely on countless helpers moving through the air. Bats feed on fruit at night, then scatter seeds across wide distances as they fly. Birds do the same at dawn, carrying berries and leaving seeds behind in new places. These wing dispersers allow forests to expand beyond the shadow of any single tree. In some regions, bats are responsible for more than 90% of new seedlings after disturbances like fires or logging. Birds maintain diversity, ensuring forests remain resilient rather than fragile. Without them, many forests would shrink, fragment, and struggle to heal. Every flutter in the darkness, every bird call in morning light, is part of a larger cycle. One where forests and their flying companions co-create Earth's green expanses. Some birds guide humans to hidden honey. In parts of Africa, an extraordinary partnership exists between people and a small bird called the greater honey guide. These birds have evolved to lead humans directly to wild beehives hidden deep in dense forests. The bird calls for attention, then flies ahead, pausing just long enough to ensure it is being followed. Step by step, It guides people toward honeycombs they might never find alone. Once humans break open the hive and collect honey, the honey guide feeds on the wax and larvae left behind. A mutual exchange. A cooperation stretching back thousands of years. One of the rare cases where wild animals and humans communicate intentionally for shared benefit. In this alliance, the forest becomes more than wilderness. It becomes a place of surprising friendship across species. The Amazon holds more species than any other forest. No forest on Earth rivals the Amazon in sheer diversity. Spanning millions of square kilometers, it is home to more than 16,000 tree species and uncountable animals, insects, fungi, and microbes. Scientists estimate that nearly 1 in 10 known species on Earth lives there. Each layer adds another world. The canopy is alive with monkeys and birds. The understory hides jaguars, snakes, and secretive mammals. The rivers teem with fish, turtles, and even dolphins. And even now, after centuries of exploration, new species are still discovered regularly. Bright frogs, unseen insects, plants never before recorded. In some places, a single square kilometer holds more plant species than all of North America. The Amazon is not just a forest. It is Earth's grand archive of biodiversity, a living library still being read page by page. Some forests remain almost completely unexplored. Even in an age of satellites and maps, parts of Earth remain mysterious. Some forests are so vast, dense, and difficult to reach that humans have barely entered them. Remote valleys in New Guinea, deep stretches of the Congo Basin, isolated regions of the Amazon, still hold blank spaces in scientific knowledge. Scientists suspect these places harbor thousands of undiscovered species. For local communities, they may not be unknown, but to the outside world, they remain untouched. Swamps, thick canopies, and sheer remoteness make exploration daunting. These forests remind us that despite modern technology, Earth still holds pockets of unmeasured life. Places where ecosystems continue on their own terms, unobserved, unrecorded, just as they have for millions of years. Some forests grow on floating islands of vegetation. In floodplains and wetlands, forests can do something almost unimaginable. They can float. Roots and soil sometimes weave together so tightly that they form buoyant mats on the surface of water. Over time, shrubs and trees sprout on top, turning the mat into a drifting island of greenery. In Africa, such floating forests are sometimes called sud. In South America, they are known as floating meadows. These ecosystems move slowly with currents and wind. Fish feed among dangling roots. Birds nest in dense vegetation. Life adapts to a world that is never fully anchored. A forest that drifts. An island that breathes. A reminder that even the ground beneath trees is not always solid. Floating forests feel like walking on a living raft. For humans, these drifting forests can be both obstacle and wonder. They block navigation. Yet they also provide floating pastures, places where life gathers above water. They blur the boundary between land and river, existing in a strange state of perpetual motion. To step onto one is to feel soft ground that sways beneath your feet. A surface that is neither shore nor boat. A forest afloat, alive, wandering. A reminder that even forests can drift, untethered, carried slowly by currents as if the earth itself is breathing them forward. There are forests growing beneath the ocean surface. Forests are not limited to dry land. Beneath the sea, entire forests rise in silence. Kelp forests stretch upward from the ocean floor, anchored by root-like holdfasts gripping stone. These towering algae can grow more than 100 feet tall, forming underwater canopies where sunlight filters through green corridors. Fish weave between fronds. Sea otters glide in search of urchins. Seals dart like shadows through the swaying pillars. Like terrestrial forests, kelp forests create shelter, shade, and abundance. They are among the most productive ecosystems on Earth. Along the coasts of California, Chile, and beyond, they support fisheries and soften the force of waves, protecting shorelines from erosion. Though they are not made of trees, their structure mirrors forests so closely that they become the ocean's equivalent. A reminder that the idea of a forest extends beyond soil, thriving even in the restless blue depths of the sea. Some forests grow on the slopes of active volcanoes. In places like Indonesia, Japan, and Costa Rica, forests climb the slopes of living volcanoes. These landscapes are precarious, fertile, yet always threatened by fire beneath the ground. Volcanic soil is rich with minerals released by past eruptions, creating some of the most nourishing earth on the planet. Plants colonize new lava flows quickly, sending roots into cracks of hardened stone. Life begins again where destruction once moved. Animals follow. Birds return. Insects arrive. The forest rebuilds itself even while danger lingers below. Forests on volcanic slopes are symbols of resilience, showing that life does not only recover from disaster, it depends on it. Each eruption clears space, reshapes the land, and prepares the soil for renewal. These forests live forever at the edge of Earth's fire, fragile and fierce. The Black Forest inspired humanity's darkest fairy tales. Germany's Black Forest is a realm of towering pines, deep shadows, and mist that clings to valleys like breath. Its atmosphere has long stirred human imagination. The Brothers Grimm drew inspiration from these dense woods when recording folktales. Stories of wolves, witches, and children lost among trees. For centuries, the forest's gloom and isolation made it feel like a place where magic and danger could hide. Yet the same forest is also filled with vibrant wildlife, clear streams, and villages glowing warmly between the trees. It reveals the contrast between perception and ecology. What humans saw as forbidding was simply home to the creatures within. The Black Forest reminds us that forests shape more than biology. They shape culture. They become theaters where fear and wonder take root side by side. Ancient forests have been preserved in stone for hundreds of millions of years. Long before humans ever walked the earth, forests already flourished. And in rare cases, they left behind monuments of deep time. Petrified forests, found in places like Arizona, Argentina, and even Antarctica, are made of trees turned into stone. Over millions of years, minerals replaced organic material, preserving bark textures, rings, and microscopic structures. These fossilized trunks reveal what prehistoric ecosystems looked like. Species that no longer exist. Worlds that vanished before our eyes were ever born. To walk among them feels unreal, like wandering through a forest frozen mid-growth. Silent, unchanging, a reminder that forests are ancient beyond comprehension, their roots reaching not only into soil, but into the deep history of life itself. Forests are expanding in some parts of the world. Deforestation is a global concern, but not all forests are shrinking. In parts of Europe, North America, and China, forests are slowly expanding again. This regrowth often happens when farmland is abandoned or when reforestation projects take hold. In Europe, centuries-old agricultural land is being reclaimed by trees. In China, massive planting campaigns have added billions of saplings across the landscape. These recovering forests may lack the complexity of ancient ones. But over time, they begin to attract wildlife, restore soils, and capture carbon. It is a quiet hope written in green. Forests are fragile, yet also resilient. They can return where once they were cut, bringing back the sound of wind through branches to places that have been silent for generations. Some forests are growing where deserts once spread. Across parts of Africa, Asia, and the Middle East, forests are beginning to sprout where barren lands once stretched. This transformation is often driven by restoration efforts. Trees planted to combat desertification. In northern China, the Great Green Wall aims to slow the spread of the Gobi Desert. In the Sahel region of Africa, communities plant native species adapted to dry conditions, helping soil return to life. Nature also plays its part, as shifts in rainfall create new opportunities for regrowth. These forests may not yet rival ancient rainforests, but they are living proof that deserts are not always destiny. With time and care, even the driest places can bloom again. The world's rarest forests exist only on tiny islands. Scattered across oceans are islands where forests grow nowhere else on Earth. Cloud forests in Hawaii, dragon blood tree groves on Socotra, palm forests in the Seychelles. These habitats exist in fragile isolation, filled with species evolved nowhere else. Because they are so small, even minor disturbances can have enormous consequences. A single storm, an invasive species, a new settlement, can reshape them dramatically. Yet their uniqueness makes them biological treasures, living museums of evolution's creativity. To walk among them is to step into life that exists in no other place. Forests as rare and delicate as jewels scattered across the sea. The world's smallest forests can be only a few trees wide. Not all forests stretch endlessly across continents. Sometimes, a cluster of trees just a few dozen meters wide is enough to be called a forest. These miniature woodlands can grow in valleys, along rivers, or on isolated hills. Despite their size, they often harbor surprising biodiversity. Birds nest there. Insects thrive. Small mammals treat them as vital refuges in open landscapes. Even the tiniest forests can store carbon, regulate water, and protect soil. For nearby communities, they may provide shade, food, or cultural meaning. They remind us that size is not everything. Even a handful of trees together can carry the spirit of a forest. Wonder existing at every scale. Some forests contain species found nowhere else. Isolation creates uniqueness. Forests separated by mountains, rivers, or oceans often harbor species found nowhere else on Earth. Madagascar's forests shelter lemurs and baobabs unlike anything beyond their shores. Australia's eucalyptus woodlands hold marsupials and birds shaped by long isolation. Even small forest patches can protect rare plants or insects that never spread beyond their boundaries. These species are often fragile, vulnerable to extinction if their habitat disappears. Yet their existence highlights evolution's creativity. Every forest becomes a stage for experiments millions of years in the making, many of which can only be seen in one corner of the planet. To step into such a forest is to enter a world entirely its own. A place where life carries the story of location written into its very being. Forests can seem to forecast their own weather. Forests are not passive in the face of weather. They respond. And in doing so, they give clues about what is coming. Scientists have found that shifts in leaf chemistry, humidity, and insect activity can signal changes in rainfall and temperature before storms arrive. Indigenous communities have long read these signs instinctively, knowing which bird calls, blossoms, or wind patterns mean rain is near. In a sense, forests forecast their own future by reacting to subtle atmospheric changes. They are living instruments, sensing the world before it shifts. A reminder that forests are not silent landscapes, but aware systems, always listening, always responding. Forest weather is shaped by the breath of trees. As trees release water vapor and invisible chemicals, they do more than cool the air. They influence the sky itself. Above the canopy, this moisture rises and helps seed clouds, creating feedback loops that shape local weather. Forests can summon mist, encourage rain, or soften heat before it grows too fierce. To walk through a forest is to enter a natural barometer, a living atmosphere where every scent, shimmer, and hush holds subtle hints of tomorrow's skies. The forest is not just beneath the weather. It is part of the weather's creation. Forests at night can be louder than cities. When the sun sets, many forests do not fall silent. They awaken. Frogs begin to croak. Insects hum in endless waves. Owls call through darkness. Mammals rustle unseen in the underbrush. In tropical forests especially, the combined chorus of nocturnal life can surpass the volume of busy urban streets. Scientists recording nighttime soundscapes often discover layers upon layers of calls. Low rumbles, sharp chirps, whispers of wings, each occupying its own frequency like instruments in an orchestra. This is not random noise. It is survival, communication, competition, a living conversation carried through darkness. For humans, it can feel overwhelming, even disorienting, a reminder that the forest never truly sleeps. Its voice simply changes. Day becomes birdsong. Night becomes deep, pulsing music. Forest soundscapes shift like a daily symphony. From the first light of dawn to the stillness of midnight, forests move through sound cycles as rich as any symphony. Morning often begins with birdsong, countless species greeting the sun. As warmth rises, insects take over, buzzing steadily through the afternoon. Rain may arrive like percussion, drumming on leaves, then fading into renewed calls as storms pass. At dusk, frogs begin their chorus, soon joined by nocturnal mammals and night insects. Each layer of life claims its own hour, its own rhythm. Scientists find these soundscapes are not chaotic. They are carefully partitioned. Each species adapts its timing to be heard without being drowned out. To listen across a full day is to hear the heartbeat of the forest, measured not in silence, but in waves of sound. Insects are the forest's constant musicians. In many forests, insects are the true orchestra. Cicadas, crickets, thousands of unseen singers filling the air with a background hum that rises and falls like breathing. Some cicada species emerge in synchronized waves, turning entire landscapes into deafening song audible for miles. Others sing nightly, their rhythms overlapping in patterns so complex scientists compare them to music. These choruses are not meaningless. They attract mates, mark territory, confuse predators. For humans, they become the defining sound of warm nights beneath trees. Birds may come and go, mammals may hide, but insects keep the soundtrack steady. A ceaseless pulse of life vibrating through the forest. Without them, the woods would feel strangely empty, as if its constant living music had vanished. Some forests hold secrets of life's earliest evolution. Certain ancient forests preserve traces of Earth's evolutionary memory. In fossil-rich sites like Mistaken Point in Canada, imprints of primitive organisms remain, echoes of worlds long gone. Even today, Untouched forests hold genetic lineages stretching back hundreds of millions of years. Cycads, often called living fossils, still grow in tropical forests much as they did when dinosaurs roamed. These remnants bridge the gulf of time. In their spores, seeds, and leaves are clues to how life diversified, adapted, and endured. Forests are not only alive in the present. They are archives of life's deep past. Holding secret science is only beginning to unlock. Roots can stretch for miles in hidden underground worlds. Beneath the forest lies a realm as vast as the canopy above. Tree roots interlace, creating networks that can stretch for miles. In mangrove forests, roots extend into rivers and seas, stabilizing shorelines. In temperate forests, roots often connect trees together, allowing them to share water and minerals. This underground web is strengthened by fungi, forming what scientists call the wood wide web. Through it, trees can send sugars, chemical signals, even warnings of danger. A forest is not a collection of individuals. It is a community bound by living threads underground. Though unseen, these roots are as vital as trunks or leaves, binding the forest into one great organism that grows, communicates, and survives in unity. Trees produce their own natural insect repellents. Forests are full of battles we rarely notice. Many trees create chemical defenses to deter hungry insects. Eucalyptus releases aromatic oils that repel pests and even inhibit competing plants. Pines ooze sticky resin, trapping insects while releasing sharp warning scents. Some species adjust their defenses depending on season or severity of attack. These repellents are so effective that humans borrow them. Many essential oils and herbal remedies originate from forest trees. This quiet chemical warfare allows forests to endure despite billions of hungry mouths. Every breeze carrying pine or eucalyptus is not only fragrance, it is a shield, a living defense system woven into the forest's fabric. Trees can warn each other of predators. Trees are not silent victims. In African savannas, studies show that when giraffes begin feeding on acacia leaves, the trees release chemicals into the air. These signals drift downwind. Nearby acacias detect them and quickly raise bitter tannins in their leaves, making them less appetizing. Entire groves coordinate defenses, protecting one another from overgrazing. It is a reminder that trees are not passive fixtures. They respond rapidly. They communicate. The forest behaves almost like a single organism, acting collectively to maintain balance. Trees can sustain and heal their neighbors. In some forests, trees seem to care for one another. When a tree is damaged, neighbors may send sugars and nutrients through underground fungal networks to sustain it. Even stumps with no leaves, unable to photosynthesize, have been found alive for centuries, nourished by surrounding trees. Scientists suggest this sharing stabilizes soil, preserves root systems, and prevents gaps in the canopy. It reveals that forests prioritize collective health. A forest is not merely trees standing side by side. It is a living community where survival is shared, where one tree's strength becomes another's lifeline. Forests are called the planet's lungs, but they are far more. Forests are often described as Earth's lungs because they absorb carbon dioxide and release oxygen. But their role is far greater. Forests regulate rainfall, stabilize soils, cool the air, support biodiversity on staggering scales. They shape weather patterns across continents, influence carbon cycles, provide food, medicine, and shelter for countless species, including humans. To call them lungs captures only one function. In truth, they are closer to the heart, the brain, the circulatory system combined. Each forest is a planetary system in miniature, influencing the world far beyond its boundaries. Tree rings record centuries of climate change. Each year, a tree adds a new ring of growth. In dry years, the ring is narrow. In wet years, it grows wide. Over centuries, these rings become a precise record of climate history. Scientists studying them can reconstruct rainfall, temperature, even volcanic events that occurred long before written records. Some ancient trees hold more than 1,000 years of climate data inside their trunks. This science, dendrochronology, allows us to understand how forests and Earth have responded to change across time. A tree is not only living wood, it is a timeline, a memory, a quiet historian standing in the forest, recording the planet year by year. Trees are not simply silent witnesses standing through the centuries. They are something deeper, something almost sacred. They are archivists of time, living libraries that store Earth's memories inside their wood. Every trunk is a timeline written in rings and fibers, preserving the story of shifting climates, changing seasons, and generations of life passing quietly beneath the canopy. Forests do not just exist in the present. They carry the past within them, and their influence reaches far beyond what we see. Forests shape Earth's climate in ways most of us never fully realize. Their role is not limited to absorbing carbon dioxide and releasing oxygen. They participate in the planet's atmosphere like invisible engineers. Trees release vast amounts of water vapor into the air, moisture that rises upward and becomes part of cloud formation. Those clouds reflect sunlight back into space, gently cooling the surface of the world. Dark forest canopies absorb warmth, while lighter woodlands reflect it, creating subtle balances of heat and light across continents. Even more astonishing, trees emit natural chemicals that drift into the sky, helping clouds form and influencing rainfall patterns thousands of miles away. The Amazon rainforest, for example, does not only shape the weather of South America, it helps stabilize atmospheric rhythms that reach as far as North America. When forests disappear, it is not only stored carbon that is released. Entire climate systems begin to unravel. Forests are not passengers on Earth's climate journey. They are active drivers, constantly shaping the balance of temperature, water, and air. Their influence stretches across the planet like a quiet breath holding everything together. And recent discoveries suggest their cooling power may be even greater than scientists once believed. Beyond carbon storage, forests create a natural air conditioning system through a process called evapotranspiration. Water moves from soil into roots, rises through trunks, and escapes through leaves as vapor, cooling the air in the same way sweat cools skin. This invisible exchange can lower regional temperatures by several degrees. Forests also increase cloud cover, shielding Earth from overheating beneath an intensifying sun. In a warming world, forests are not only vulnerable victims of climate change, they may be among our greatest allies. The shade you feel beneath a single tree is only the smallest hint of the planetary cooling forests provide every single day. And every forest is both ancient and newborn at once. Some trees have stood for thousands of years, while nearby saplings emerge fresh with each season. The soil holds echoes of forests that lived millions of years ago, even as new shoots prepare the canopy of tomorrow. A forest is an archive and a frontier at the same time. Old in its roots, new in its leaves. To walk among trees is to move through layered time, where generations overlap and the past quietly blends into the future. And still, forests remain unfinished mysteries. Even after centuries of study, they continue to hide secrets. New species of plants, fungi, and insects are discovered each year, some concealed in plain sight. The full complexity of tree communication, fungal networks, and climate influence is still only partially understood. In many ways, forests are as mysterious as the deep ocean or even outer space. Each step beneath their canopy is a step into the unknown. And sometimes, their mysteries feel almost mythic. In parts of Africa, Asia, and South America, certain trees release sap so intensely red it resembles blood. The legendary dragon blood tree of Socotra is the most famous, its crimson resin used for medicine, dyes, and ritual for thousands of years. When its bark is cut, thick red liquid flows like a wound, giving the tree an eerie, almost supernatural presence. To ancient peoples, it seemed as though the forest itself could bleed. Today, science reveals the truth. These resins are powerful mechanisms, sealing injuries and defending against infection. What feels strange or haunting is simply the tree's way of surviving. Even in silence, forests heal. And in the heart of the rainforest, giants rise beyond imagination. Some Amazon trees stretch over 80 meters into the sky, taller than the Statue of Liberty. These towering beings emerge above the canopy like living skyscrapers, catching sunlight where few others can reach. Their branches host entire ecosystems, birds, insects, epiphytes, all living in the high air of the treetops. Their immense size allows them to store staggering amounts of carbon, strengthening the forest's role as a regulator of Earth's climate. To stand beneath one is to feel awe, because this is not architecture. This is life. And in California, another giant waits. The General Sherman tree, a massive sequoia in the Sierra Nevada, is the largest known tree by volume. Its trunk contains more than 1,000 cubic meters of wood, outweighing dozens of blue whales combined. It is not the tallest tree, nor the oldest, but its sheer presence feels impossible. Layer upon layer, century after century, it has grown into a monument of living tissue. A single tree, vast enough to feel like a forest unto itself. And then there is bamboo, the miracle of speed. Some bamboo species can grow nearly a meter in a single day, rising so quickly that the change can almost be seen with the naked eye. This explosive growth allows bamboo forests to regenerate rapidly after disturbance, making them some of the most renewable ecosystems on Earth. Flexible yet strong, bamboo has shaped human history through construction, weaving, and papermaking. In nature, it provides shelter for countless animals, including the giant panda. Its speed is not just impressive, it is survival. And over long spans of time, forests do more than grow. They reshape entire landscapes. Roots fracture stone, slowly turning rock into soil. Fallen leaves build fertile layers that nourish generations of life. Forests capture rainfall, guide rivers, and sometimes even redirect their flow. Over millennia, forests have transformed barren volcanic slopes into lush ecosystems, carving fertile plains from once empty ground. These changes happen too slowly for human eyes to notice, but they are among the most powerful forces on Earth. Life itself, shaping the planet. Even the Amazon carries such ancient memory. Before it became the vast river system we know today, the Amazon basin was once a swampy inland forest. 10 million years ago, tectonic shifts and rising mountains trapped water, creating enormous wetlands filled with dense vegetation and strange prehistoric creatures. Only later, as the Andes continued to rise, did the waters break through, carving the modern Amazon River. Even now, the forest remembers that flooded past in its seasonal wetlands and shifting floodplains. The Amazon is not simply a river surrounded by trees. It is the result of water and forest shaping one another across deep time. And in many parts of the world, forests still live with water rising through them. Seasonal floods transform entire woodlands into temporary underwater worlds. Instead of drowning, trees adapt, growing hollow stems, breathing roots, and structures designed for submersion. For months, fish swim between trunks, and the forest becomes a dreamlike blend of river and canopy. A landscape that changes with the pulse of seasons. When the waters finally withdraw, they leave behind something like a gift. Rich layers of nutrients settle into the soil, and the forest responds with sudden bursts of green renewal. New shoots rise quickly, leaves unfold, and life surges forward as if the flood itself was part of the forest's nourishment. To exist in these places is to surrender to constant transformation. Here, stability is not the rule. Change is. The rhythm is written in water, in rising and receding, in drowning and returning. The forest becomes almost amphibious, living between two worlds, neither fully land nor fully river. These flooded ecosystems reveal something extraordinary about life. Its flexibility, its patience, its ability to thrive in cycles that might seem impossible to endure. And as we widen our view beyond these watery forests, we begin to realize something even more astonishing. There was a time when forests were not scattered pockets across the globe. They were nearly everything. Hundreds of millions of years ago, long before deserts spread across continents, and long before polar ice caps shaped the extremes of Earth, forests blanketed almost all of the land. During the Carboniferous period, vast swampy worlds of towering ferns and ancient tree-like plants stretched endlessly, creating the immense coal deposits we still mine today. Later, coniferous forests expanded across prehistoric supercontinents, unbroken for thousands of miles, a planet wrapped in green. These primeval forests transformed the atmosphere itself. They raised oxygen levels far higher than what we breathe now, fueling the rise of giant insects, enormous amphibians, and ecosystems unlike anything alive today. But Earth is always shifting. Climate changed. Continents drifted. Ice advanced and retreated. And slowly, those endless forests fractured into the patchwork of ecosystems we recognize now. Still, the memory remains. Once, Earth was almost entirely forest, a world where trees were the rulers of the land. And perhaps what is most humbling is this: forests will likely outlast most of what humans build. Cities feel permanent. Highways stretch like monuments. Towers rise as if they will stand forever. Yet forests quietly remind us of time's true scale. When buildings are abandoned, trees return. Roots press through concrete. Vines climb through broken windows. Branches shade crumbling walls. Even the greatest human structures, temples, fortresses, entire cities, eventually surrender to the slow patience of growth. Forests move gently, almost imperceptibly, but their persistence is unmatched. They have outlasted civilizations before, and they will likely outlast many of ours. Human permanence is measured in centuries. Forest permanence is measured in millennia. When left alone, they return, covering scars, softening ruins, and erasing the sharp edges of human presence. In Earth's long story, forests endure not as monuments of stone, but as living, ever-renewing worlds. And they remind us of something deeply true about life itself. Life is both fragile and fierce. A forest can burn. It can wither. It can vanish within a single generation. Its vulnerability is visible in every clear-cut hillside, in every silent patch of land where trees once stood. And yet, forests have survived ice ages, storms, and the rise and fall of empires. Their resilience stretches across millions of years. This is their paradox. A seedling can be crushed beneath a careless foot, and yet, given enough time, it may grow into a towering giant. Entire forests can be leveled, and decades later, they may return once more, green and humming with life. To walk among trees is to feel this truth, that life is delicate in the moment, but indomitable across time. Forests embody that quiet strength. And now, as we come to the end of our long journey through the forests of Earth, I hope you felt the calm of wandering beneath their canopies, even if only in your imagination. From the tallest redwoods reaching skyward, to the hidden fungal networks beneath our feet, to the stories of resilience written in every ring of every tree. Forests remind us how vast, intricate, and enduring life can be. They are fragile and fierce, ancient and new, mysterious and familiar. And while we may think of them as distant wilderness, the truth is, forests are never far. Every breath of air, every sip of water, every heartbeat owes something to them. They are the living memory of our planet, and also its hope for the future. If you've enjoyed this journey, I would be so grateful if you considered liking and subscribing to Dreamy Science Stories, or perhaps leaving a gentle thought in the comments. Each small gesture helps other sleepy souls find their way here too. But for now, there is nothing more you need to do. Let your breathing soften. Let your body feel heavier against the bed. And let the quiet presence of forests linger in your mind, like a canopy of green sheltering you from the worries of the day. Sleep comes easily when we finally let go. So drift gently into rest. Tomorrow will wait. Tonight belongs to stillness. And when you wake, the forests and the next story will be waiting for you. Good night.